First off, you got to appreciate their time. You know, they're volunteering their work to work with the kids, to show them the right way, and that's tremendous to see. You know, grown men, grown coaches being able to put the time in to help out the youth.
Ready? We're live in Miami, and I'm Coach Ballgame, and I came here with a mission. I wanted to find out what makes a great youth coach. Check out what I found out.
The one piece of advice for that youth coach out there right now.
I would say stop making players play one sport. I'm a firm believer that a lot of my ability is because I was able to play a lot of sports in this world, and I've been very fortunate that my family has had the funds to be able to put me in all those sports.
Well, I would just tell the youth coach to give a foundation of the kid to enjoy the sport that he's coaching. Don't be overly critical of winning and losing. Listen, I'm a great friend of my little league coach of football today, just because he allowed me to have fun growing up in the sport. And let's say, he let me think about, I think I can do this when I get a little bit older. And I did it when I got to junior high, I did it when I got to high school. And then when I got to high school, I met a coach I didn't like so much because he spoke a lot of bad things to me. Matter of fact, it made me quit football in my sophomore year of high school. But then my coach came back to me and said, don't let anybody make you quit, because you do what you love, and don't let anybody words discourage you of that. So my advice to those young coaches is let the kids play, let them have fun, give them love and encouragement the way through, and maybe they'll be the next generation of great players.
I think the biggest thing with kids is let them have fun. Make sure they work hard, and make sure they understand if they're going to be successful, they have to work hard. But let them have fun while they do it.
Make sure they're having fun. Teach them how to keep their head out of the game and tackling. Teach them how to take proper angles, and but first and foremost, make sure they're having fun.
Have fun. Enjoy it. It flies by. People take it too seriously. Some of the worst crowds, and I've been in some tough places, some of the worst crowds I've ever been around are Little League baseball crowds. My God, they take it too seriously. I mean, it's like you're hanging on every pitch, you know?
I feel like, you know, when a parent is in a high leverage situation and they're uneducated on a game, it gets anxious, they yell, and it causes the kid to just walk away from the game. So
No question. No question.
What do you say to that parent in the stands?
Get some popcorn, get a soda, enjoy the game, pat your son on the head on the way back, you know, home, and did you enjoy yourself, and realize it's not the end of the world.
Well, they're making a bigger difference than the coaches you see on TV. I mean, most of a young athlete's core values and direction is shaped by their youth coaches, to be quite honest with you. With our kids, we were way more concerned with their youth coaches than we were their high school or college coaches. So you're making a difference, and don't ever take it for granted.
Primarily to the parents, introduce them, don't force them. Let them, they'll tell you where they want to go.
Let them play all the sports, figure it out themselves.
Introduce, absolutely.
Yeah, I would just say the biggest thing is that be positive. You know, all these kids right now, love them up, be positive. You know, if you're yelling at a kid, you're probably not coaching. You're just yelling. You're taking out your frustration on them. You know, try to realize that, you know, they obviously aren't trying to mess up. Try to be positive with some of the messages that you're saying and encouraging them and pointing out what they are doing well.
You know, just keep the kids first. You know, the game's a game, and you know, it's just your job to teach them, you know, help kind of build them along, help them mature more so as a person than it is the game.
Be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. Don't try to coach. That's not your style. Because as a player, we see right through that. And being a player, my best coaches were the ones that were genuine.
We had a flag football game at the end of the season after every year, and it was the coaches versus the players.
Nice.
So, you know, he drew it back to having fun. Even though we busted our butt throughout the whole year, he brought it back to enjoying yourself again.
My problem was confidence. He told me to go out there and just, first time you get a shot, take it no matter what. I don't care if you hit the rim at all. And that was huge. So my first shot, I missed the rim altogether, of course. And but he kept me in the game, and eventually I hit the rim. I didn't hit many shots, but I hit the rim, all because of Dr. Smith, who was a great guy and a great coach, and it propelled a mediocre high school career. But I might have quit basketball otherwise, so that was a big deal.
The kids look up to you more than you know it. I think their lessons that they teach it influences and impacts kids more than they'll ever know. There's a lot of coaches that have stuck with me throughout the years, and still remember either practices or games or certain situations where they either talk to me or pull me to the side, but I think their impact has a long-lasting effect.
Just really love them and care about them because they know what's real and what's not.
I think work on technique and work on the little things. You know, you want to get bothered with all the special trick plays and everything, but you see these teams that come out and they're fundamentally sound. Whatever it is, and they're teaching the basics of the game and everything. That's when you're going to have the good team.
You got to give them that tough love. You got to give them that tough love, and make sure you communicate with your kids. Like, know what's going on with them outside of football.
I would look for people in the community that aren't fathers yet. And because I was not a father yet, and I met this guy who coached youth football, he goes, yes. I said, someday when I have a kid, I'll volunteer. He goes, why wait? I'm like, and I don't know that much about football, but I knew enough to help out a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I guess I don't have to have a kid. And so if you're a graduate who played high school or college football and you live in a community, that's the best way to meet people in the community and get in with the community is help the local sports teams. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I wish I'd done more than that 1 year because of work I couldn't do as much, but I remember every bit of it.
To me, what makes a great youth coach is, especially when you're just starting to form your love of the game, it's somebody who's going to be positive, not be critical of the mistakes that you made, but point out when you do something well and remind you to duplicate that. Too often I've played for coaches that were critical of the bad moments, and you'd walk home feeling bad when you're very young. But those that made you feel good about the things you did right were the things that were most important to me. And when I coached my kids, that was what I tried to emphasize.
First of all, to be there, to be consistent. Now, I'm a coach myself, and I realize how hard it is with, with the schedules get crazy. But I would say for me, be an encourager. Like kids now, there's so much negativity out there. Be an encourager and find some skill set that you can encourage them to develop, because everyone has something. And it may be the kid that's on the end of the bench, but he has a great attitude.
Yep.
You tell him, you know what, you're important to this team as much as the kid that's hitting cleanup and hitting bombs.
Yep.
You're just as important. Or if somebody who's coming in to spot relief, whatever it is, find the skill set that those kids are excelling in and encourage them to go after it.
And it was just believing in you and giving you the tools to empower you. And that was kind of the things that stood out to me was whatever it is you wanted to do, he was there to support you and give you the tools to help you succeed, kind of thing.
Support and empowerment.
If you're a parent of a kid that plays on the youth level, one thing I would recommend is as soon as the game's over, not ask 5,000 questions about why he didn't make that shot or why he didn't advance the runner, or why he didn't deliver in the clutch with the bases loaded, and what did you see on that pitch, or what happened on that ground ball, or did you misjudge that fly ball? Because they're kids and they should be enjoying their experience, and when they're ready to tell you and talk about it, that's when you talk about it.
I would just tell you guys to just make sure you understand that these young kids are still kids. Make sure they enjoy the game, all right? Don't take the love of the game away from the sport. And when we find ourselves grinding on these kids, we have to understand so many of these kids are running away from the sport because they don't like a coach. Now, I understand that may be a weak-minded, spirit that they may have, but we also need to understand that we're nurturers as well. And so I would just tell them just to make sure that they understand that this is still a game, and these are kids that are out here doing something that they think they want to do, all right, maybe down the road. So help them enjoy the game.
Today, just a positive reinforcement. And just allow me just to be myself, not, being my dad. He never wanted to coach me, just wanted me to be around the game as much as possible. And fortunate for me, I've made it this far and hopefully a little bit further in my career.
Coach Ed, he coached me in 5th and 6th grade. And he was like one of the first guys that I could tell that just really believed in me as a player, that could really see what I could do on the field. And he, took time aside to coach me individually and help me progress. And so, I always remember him and the time he took to spend with me. So he's been really impactful on my career.
That extra little bit of time meant so much.
Yeah.
Any advice to that Pop Warner coach out there, that Little League coach, that volunteer? What do you got for them?
I'd say, don't count anybody out, because a lot of people counted me out. But I stuck with it, and here I am. So
look where he's at today, baby. Attaboy!
Yes, sir.
First of all, that mustache is on point, and I just want to say attaboy to that mustache.
You don't have to do anything too special, too critical. It's supposed to be fun at a young age, so keep it fun, keep it light. Just believe in it.
First of all, remember it's sports, and it's supposed to be fun and educational for the kids.
Well, love these kids up. They need some. They need to be coached. They need to be taught. Educate these kids. Don't just try to show them how much you think you know. Okay, make sure you teach them and it's all about these kids learning.
I think too often we're running into a situation where a lot of coaches are turning it into about themselves and forgetting that it is about the kid. So that would be the #1 priority, is to remember it's about the kid. And, these kids are going to learn at different levels, and some are going to be really good when they're 8, and some are going to be not good until they're 12, and some will never be good. But that's not your job to yell and beat them up and complain about it. Let them go out and be kids and learn at their different level, and it will benefit them in the long run. And that's what your job is there to be a coach, is to benefit them in the long run for it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, we're still live. Not really. But I hope you enjoyed all those interviews. I certainly did. If you want more Coach Ballgame, go to CoachBallgame.com. I've got a YouTube page, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, MySpace, and an Atari.